The second phase of the Bears Paw feeder main work now underway. What delays and detours Calgarians can expect. Plus, the case for a united Canada.
I think there are a few things more important than talking about the future of our country.
Some big names are in town tonight hosting a discussion on Alberta's separation. And let the sniffing and sneezing begin.
And they are colliding with pollen types that are highly allergenic that are starting to emerge.
Details on Calgary's allergy forecast and a warning from experts.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Jacqueline Wilson.
Good afternoon. The next phase of the Bears Paw feeder main replacement is starting this week, but if things don't go according to plan, the city is warning Calgarians about the potential for more water restrictions. Moses Waldo joins us from the area. So Moses, what's really the focus of this week's work?
Well, this week's work will start with the prep going on that will continue throughout some parts of here, the Bowness area, marking the new parallel water feeder main construction. Crews will begin cross-connection work, which is necessary to connect the replacement pipe to the wider water system. The work will be happening at two locations in Bowness, one on 83rd Street and another on 77th Street between 33rd and 34th Avenue. More disruptive work will happen in June when the city actually starts installing the new feeder main pipe. Residents are being told to expect detours, noise, dust, and temporary parking restrictions. The city says that it also expects work to go smoothly, but Calgarians should prepare for the worst.
So we want to remind all Calgarians to be prepared in case the pipe does break. We would need to go into stage 4 water restrictions and indoor water conservation again. We don't have an indication that that will happen, but we want to make sure everyone is as prepared as possible.
Now, the work being done between that stretch of Shaganappi Trail and Edworthy Park is actually on schedule, and that's part of that Stage A, but parking will be limited on the north side of the park. So it's going to be a little bit of a trade-off there.
Okay, Moses, thank you. The site of a deadly crash on Sunday morning has become a problem intersection for years. The crash happened east of Calgary at the intersection of Highway 9 and 564. RCMP say a pickup truck pulling a trailer and an SUV collided. A 33-year-old and a 63-year-old woman in the SUV died. A man and a child in that same vehicle went to hospital in critical condition. The child was airlifted by Stars. The driver of the truck also ended up in hospital in serious condition. A resident who lives nearby has been advocating for better safety measures through a Freedom of Information request. He found out that there's been 36 crashes at the intersection since 2015.
It is frustrating because, I brought it up to them. I started really bugging them last, 16 months ago, I guess, sending emails. There was a bus that got hit here and started on fire. So that's when I really started bugging them. And I've suggested maybe temporary means of a 4-way stop in the meantime until they can get something done, or a reduced speed limit.
Alberta's transportation minister says a traffic circle is planned for the intersection and design work is almost complete. He also says Sunday's crash was the result of a driver failing to stop at the stop sign. And police are still investigating the cause of a crash between a motorcycle and a car. It happened about 10 o'clock last night on Stony Trail and Métis Trail in the northeast. The motorcyclist was taken to hospital with critical, life-threatening injuries. One person has been sent to hospital following a basement fire. It started just before 3 this morning in the community of Thorncliffe. Emergency crews say that the fire was quickly growing when they arrived at the home on Centre Street. 4 people managed to get out. 1 was sent to hospital to be treated for minor burns and smoke inhalation. 1 dog and 2 cats died. 3 other dogs and 2 cats were rescued. The cause of that fire is still unknown. And the Calgary Police Service, City of Calgary, and the University of Calgary have all been named in a lawsuit stemming from the pro-Gaza protests from May 2024. Protesters set up an encampment on the U of C's campus. Organizers say the objective was to have the university disclose investment it held and divest any supporting Israel. The 9 plaintiffs allege that their charter rights were violated when Calgary police, acting on a trespass order, moved in to remove the encampment. They claim it was an infringement on their freedom of speech and peaceful assembly. They also allege that several injuries were sustained, including concussions, rib, jaw, and hand injuries, as well as psychological trauma. Monetary damages amounting to over $330,000 are also being sought.
The court is really going to have to make a determination as to the law that surrounds the University of Calgary and whether or not they're subjected to the the charter controls that we have in place. Right? Is this an infringement on freedom of expression and freedom of a peaceful protest, freedom of association, or is this essentially private property?
None of the allegations have been proven in court. The university says it will review any statement of claim received through the courts and respond as appropriate. The city says it won't comment while it's before the courts. CPS says it has not been formally served. Well, it will be a packed house at the University of Calgary's Rosé Centre tonight for an event that's focused on keeping Alberta as part of a united Canada. And Tim Brooke will be there, and he joins us now. And some big names in Canadian politics are slated to speak.
Yes, Jackie, former Premier Jason Kenney is one of those big names. The other really big name tonight, and one of the other guests of honors, is Calgary's only Liberal MP. He represents Calgary Confederation, that of course, Corey Hogan. Now, both Hogan and Kenney have separately told me they're a little bit hesitant to weigh into this whole debate, but they also believe that it's important that the Federalist side of the conversation is just as loud as the separatist side. This event comes at an interesting time. This morning, as you can see, a government committee met to discuss the future of the Forever Canadian petition. About 439,000 people signed to keep Alberta part of Canada, but the Premier said that petition wording was unclear and required a UCP-led committee to determine its next steps. Now, that group could direct government to table policy or to hold a referendum. Instead, what it did today was adjourn before any final decisions were made. It's just the latest frustration for those who believe separation is, frankly, a ridiculous idea.
I think there are few things more important than talking about the future of our country, especially at this moment. We now look like we're going to have to deal with a referendum question on separatism that's been foisted on us. I don't think it's a good thing that the question's been foisted on us, but it's an important thing that if we're going to have this conversation, we have it with passionate pro-Canadian voices.
It's important to remember here, there is still no question on separation slated to be officially on the referendum come October. But Jackie, the Premier did tell media today that if a question does meet all the requirements soon, she believes there's plenty of time to add it to the voting list.
Okay, Tim, thank you. Well, the new program is bringing sport lessons directly to kids and teens. The aim of Sport Hub is to bring coaching and sport equipment into neighborhoods and schools setting by partnering with organizations. The program is available for kids from 5 to 18 years old, and it looks to break down barriers for sports participation like cost, equipment, and transportation. Officials hope it helps encourage more kids to get into sports.
We want to try to introduce them to new sport in school, in their neighborhood, connect with sport organizations, and then sustain those healthy habits for their life.
The city hopes to reach more than 90 schools and 45 communities this year. More information can be found at calgary.ca/sporthub. Resorts of the Canadian Rockies will be upgrading 4 of their lifts in BC resorts this year. Kimberley Resorts is getting new Tamarack quad chair. That work starts this spring, and it should be done by December. By winter 2017-28, Kicking Horse Mountain Resort, they will have a high-speed quad Pioneer Express. It will take skiers from the base of the resort to the Crystal Bowl. Starting next year, Fernie, they will get 2 new high-speed 4-person lifts, the Elk and Cedar Bowl Express. Wow. So we are talking about snow, Danielle, because it is lovely outside, and you're saying tomorrow even better.
And when we live this close to the mountains, let's be honest, we can talk about snow any month of the year. And now skiing any month of the year, and golfing for many months. All right, so before I get over the top here about any of that, we are about to head into a very summery day tomorrow. Right now, we're where we should be for this time of year. High 15, that's also the current temperature at the airport. It has been a little breezy today. We do have blue sky in some spots. We have some cloud cover. We did have some isolated showers roll through. We have the chance of a little sprinkle up until about 7:30 tonight, and then that clears its way out. High pressure builds in, and boy, is it stable for tomorrow. It will be tough to find a cloud in the sky for the morning, and in the afternoon, maybe a couple clouds. Stable, getting up to a high of 23 degrees. After that, though, we do have some rain to talk about, and especially for a long weekend. Those details are just ahead. Your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. Family-owned, community-driven. Discover more at Fifth Avenue Volkswagen.
Okay, thanks, Danielle. Well, do you suffer from seasonal allergies? If so, you might be extra uncomfortable in the weeks ahead, according to the allergy forecast. Plus, running to raise money for mental health. The Canadian man in Calgary on his cross-country tour next. The cooler start to spring means bad news for Calgarians who suffer from seasonal allergies. Pollen will arrive in a burst over the next few weeks. The allergy forecast from Aerobiology Research Laboratory shows that this year's pollen season will be especially intense in our city. Pollen from trees like cedar and poplar typically appear in late March, but winter-like weather delayed that, and now it's set to burst alongside other allergenic trees, creating a perfect storm of pollen.
And we're seeing those in the air now, and they're still at low and moderate levels, but usually they're not even around at this point in time. And they are colliding with pollen types that are highly allergenic that are starting to emerge, such as birch, oak, poplar.
Pharmacists are already starting to see a rush on allergy medicine and expected to pick up throughout the month. Calgary ranks 8th worst in Canada for tree pollen. Windsor, Ontario tops the list for the most challenging Canadian city for seasonal allergies. Like Canadian solo journey across the country to raise money for mental health made a stop in Calgary today.
I'm doing it unsupported, but I've felt so supported throughout the whole journey. And just like a lot of people that deal with mental health think they're alone, but you never really are.
Carter Armstrong started his run April 10th in Vancouver and has been running about a marathon every day. The 23-year-old taking a day to recover today before he finishes running through Calgary and continues on his journey tomorrow. His goal is to make it to his hometown of Dryden, Ontario, and to raise about $100,000 for the Canadian Mental Health Association. Well, that is wonderful, and I hope he is good luck running, but you're saying Saturday, not a good running day, probably?
Yeah, Saturday, I mean, I don't know if you're running, you kind of get hot fast, so
maybe it's
there you go. Maybe it's a nice dousing of rain. And let's be honest, we need this rain. Do we all want it during a big camping weekend? No. Do we all expect it during a big, May long weekend? Yes, we do. Unfortunately, it's pretty much the way it goes. I'll be out camping in it. I'm sure many of you will. All right, Skywatch weather camera, there's some blue sky. We've had some isolated showers push through the city, nothing significant, and that potential is till about 7 o'clock tonight. Temperatures where they should be for this time of year. Normal daytime high is about 16 degrees for this time of year in Calgary. We got to 15 so far today. Look at Lethbridge, though. Lethbridge pumped into the 20s today, and close enough. Drumheller, Brooks, Medicine had it 19 degrees right now. So certainly some warmth in the southeast corner. We've had some windy conditions today, not excessively windy, but definitely noticeable. Closer to 60 kilometers per hour. That was the max Lethbridge and Pincher Creek. Calgary, though, we got in those mid 50s. It will be a lot calmer for tomorrow. We may get up to 40 kilometer per hour gusts, but very sporadic, not very often for tomorrow. So calmer winds tomorrow and more stable conditions tomorrow as well. So today we had a little bit of late day instability. Nothing much. We're getting more stable as this high pressure builds in. So this isn't really able to materialize into anything. But from Innisfail down through Calgary, Strathmore, over to potentially even Brooks, down to Fort Macleod and Lethbridge, the potential for an isolated shower up until about 7:30 tonight, and then it's too stable for it and things clear out. Okay, looking at the future cast, this is again the next couple of hours. So then it's cleared out of the way. There's a look at 7:30 And then by tomorrow, thanks to high pressure, we have nothing to talk about. It'll be tough to find a cloud in the sky in many communities in southern Alberta. Now let's push into Wednesday. Wednesday, the clouds will increase in the morning hours, and in the afternoon, isolated showers. Calgary could pick up a little bit of this, so some isolated showers. We get into more consistent widespread rainfall Wednesday night through Thursday morning. So this will be pretty heavy in some spots. That orange indicating some very heavy localized spots with this. And then pushing into the southeast, which is where we need it most. So this is a good rainfall on the way for the far south, up to 10 millimeters. For Calgary, we're looking at about 2 to 4 millimeters from this wave. So again, tomorrow is bright and it's warm, 23 degrees. We'll hold on to some warmth for Wednesday, but the clouds will increase, so it won't be as nice, and it will get a little windy. And then Wednesday, later in the day especially, through early Thursday morning, 2 to 4 millimeters of rain. Stabilizes for much of Thursday, but temperatures will drop into those teens for Thursday and Friday. Friday in through Saturday, there's the potential of anywhere from 10 to 20 millimeters of rain, and check out your daytime high for Saturday, just 7 degrees. Now, good news is it looks more stable on Sunday and Monday, but it still won't be anywhere near the 20s. We'll be lucky to get back into the teens for Sunday and Monday.
Okay, thanks, Danielle. Canadian markets are higher in the afternoon trading today. What's behind that rise in our business report next. There is still plenty of uncertainty surrounding the war in Iran, but despite that, the markets had a strong day. And joining now is Lana Washniak, investment advisor with the Popwich Kamali Advisory Group. Lana, the markets are off to a good start to the week.
Yeah, and it was a bit of an interesting trading day. As you mentioned, there was some uncertainty that came out as President Trump referred to the Iran ceasefire as on life support during the trading day today. But despite that, there was still some optimism amongst investors. We saw that trade kind of go two different directions over the course of the day, but the optimists won the end of the day with prices generally remaining around record highs in the U.S. in particular. A lot of that was driven by optimism around AI infrastructure and some of the big tech names in the U.S. On the flip side, companies that were impacted by higher oil prices, and we did see oil spike about 3% today, and some of the other issues surrounding the Strait of Hormuz, like Mosaic, who produces fertilizer but has a lot of inputs that have to come from the same area of the world, did suffer on the markets today.
Okay, and then I'm hearing TELUS is planning to build an AI data center in BC.
That's right, and it's actually going to be a cluster of data centers, a couple in Vancouver and one in Kamloops, which would be basically an expansion and repurposing of a facility that they already have. Two of these would be basically ready to go and online by later on this year or early next year, with the third one to be put up around BC Place in Vancouver, and that due to be online in about a few years. Now, altogether, this would use about 150 megawatts of electricity and use about 60,000 NVIDIA graphics processing units, so that kind of gives you an idea of scale. This is all part of the bit of a race that we're starting to see develop amongst telecom companies to try and build out their AI infrastructure and offer the Canadian solution to those data centers to their customers.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Today is the final day for people to fill out their federal census form. The provincial government says that participating in the census ensures Albertans get their fair share of federal funding to keep up with our growth. Statistics Canada says the reminder letters will be sent out to households that don't complete the form on time. They may also follow up with phone calls and in-person visits. Not completing the form could eventually result in a $500 fine. The census is done every 5 years, and the information helps inform where public resources are allocated. 2 Calgary women have died following a highway crash east of the city. Here's Ian White with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Jackie, a child, and 2 adults were also sent to hospital. The crash happened Sunday morning at the intersection of highways 9 and 564. It's the site of multiple crashes over the years. Coming up at 6, what the province says about safety concerns. Also ahead, the next phase of the Bears Paw feeder main replacement is underway. Coming up at 6, what to expect with the next round of construction and how long it will impact Bowness residents. Jackie?
Ian, thank you. About 5,200 people participated in the Sports Check Mother's Day Run, Walk and Wheel. For almost 50 years, the run has served as the largest family fundraiser in support of the neonatal units at Calgary's hospitals. The run started at Chinook Centre and it went through several neighborhoods before returning to the mall. Many of these runners started coming with their parents and are now continuing the tradition by bringing their own children to the run.
There's so many people who came through the NICU when their kids were born, and now these are adult children who are coming out and running with their kids and their grandparents. And so it's become an institution in this city where people get out and move before they go on to brunch and other things.
This year's run raised more than $30,000 for Calgary's Health Foundation and Canadian Tire's Jumpstart charities. Right now in Calgary, it's partially cloudy, 15 degrees. Danielle will be back after the break with all of our weather details. Welcome back. Well, the long weekend is ahead, and May long weekend, as we know, it can be very pesky in Alberta.
Yeah.
So what's ahead for us?
I mean, you just can't have your expectations very high for May long weekend ever. If you're camping, like myself, with kids, oh boy. Okay, I'll give you the whole forecast just a second. But first, currently it's 15. Today is high 15, normal 16. We're right where we should be today. Tomorrow will be well above where we should be. It'll be very summer-like tomorrow. Hard to find a cloud in the sky, lots of sunshine, 23 degrees. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty of all of it. So there's the first system that arrives Wednesday afternoon. Isolated showers Wednesday afternoon, then heavy rain Wednesday night through early Thursday morning, picking up about 2 to 4 millimeters. Then we drop to the teens Friday, especially late Friday in through Saturday, 5 to 10 millimeters of rain both of those days. So a lot of heavy rain, but we get back into the teens for Sunday and Monday, and the sun will come back out after that.
Okay, thanks, Danielle. A popular U.S. burger chain is now open in Calgary. The first customer began lining up at 4:30 this morning for the grand opening of Shake Shack at Chinook Centre. The chain started as a hot dog cart in a park in New York in 2001. It has since grown to more than 400 locations worldwide. There are 5 locations in the Toronto area, but this one is the first in Western Canada.
Well, to be honest with you, it's just based off of the marketing campaign that they did. And if we're looking at it from the standpoint of what Chick-fil-A did, I was like, hey, this seems like a good opportunity, right?
Canada's actually was the #1 requested location across the world for Shake Shack, and ever since we opened in Toronto a couple years ago, Calgarians have been finding ways to let us know they're ready for us in every which way. So we're thrilled to be able to open today.
Well, management at Chinook Centre also revealed today a new tenant will be announced soon for that space that is being occupied by Nordstrom soon. Have to wait for that. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Now here's the early edition of CTV National News.